Hello everyone, Jeb from Jeb's Project. Let's see what we have on the bench today. Well, back on the bench is the GE Super Bass. We're unable to find a replacement VCO, so we're just going to repair the VCO, replace the varactor, and go from there. Okay, repairing the VCO, replacing the varactor that's over here in this corner. Let me zoom in here a little more. I can't take credit for this. There's another video out there that shows how to change the varactor in the VCO. If I can find it, I'll put a link to it. I took a utility knife, very carefully went down in behind this metal section on all four sides until I got it loose. Then pull this cover off. Then I went down through the sides of here very carefully with a utility knife. Try to just break it loose from the metal casing underneath. I did wind up cutting the side here so that I could get a screwdriver up in here to pry this cover off. Be very careful when doing it because it holds the slug. I'd like to come up out of there. Okay, you pull this plastic cover off. And then you need to take and go in between with the utility knife, very carefully go in between the two, or right here at the corners. You can see they split right there. You can go in there and just wiggle a little bit until you get the casing open. Then once you do that, once you get your there we go. And this will slide out. Part of it's these dimples that hold it into dimples on the here. Okay, there's the varactor that I replaced. I took a drill, real small drill, and if you can see this capacitor, just inside the capacitor I drilled down till I reached the PC board. Then I come in here behind it, drilled another hole down to the PC board, and come over here just this side of this resistor and drilled a hole. Then took the utility knife and went in and cracked it until I managed to break out the section that I could get to the varactor. Here I went in between the PCB and the resin, popped it up, and then came in and down to break it till it broke loose from the PC board, and then was able to clip the leg off and lift it up off, which gave me access to the two solder points. Okay, we're going to put it back together here. But you got to get this varactor slid back in a little bit. That's an NEC 612. That's being used for the replacement varactor. Okay, well, let's bend these back in so we got a good solid fit. Okay, there we go. Let's see how that does. Get her lined up. Slide her together. Take the green part. Oop. Yeah, okay. That holds the adjustment slug. Slide it down in until it clips on. Okay, now at this point, for this and this, we're going to take a little bit of super glue. We'll throw just a drop in there. There we go. Just enough to hold that down. Throw a little under. No, don't need to throw any on that side. Okay. And then we'll take this cover and we'll put it back on. There. Now the VCO is complete and back together. You have to leave one of the legs of the varactor stick through because that's one of the pins. The other side you can clip off. Alright, I guess it's time to put it back into the radio. Okay, the VCO soldered in right here at this point here, and there's where the varactor. That comes right off the PLL chip. And I gotta clip that off. He's in. Get that out of there. There we go. Now we'll set the boards back together in here. Set it down, plug it in, and see if we get our voltage adjustment. Okay, according to the service manual, we're supposed to be on channel 1, AM, and connected to test point 1, which is right here. Okay, you can see now we've got adjustment in our VCO. Okay, and we need to adjust to 3.6 volts. Okay, there's 3.2. Okay. Oh. Let's see if we can get her as close to 3.6 as possible. Whoop, too far. 3.6. That'll do. Alright, we'll move on to the next step. Okay, on to the next problem here. Went down through the alignment procedures until I got down to the check for 37.66 megahertz on channel 1, clarifier, mid-range, AM, or upper sideband. The frequency is up into 38 megahertz. So I skipped a step that I shouldn't have. Frequency counter to test point 6, which was pin 2 on the PLL. Check to see if it had 2.5 on channel 1, 2.55 megahertz. Well, it's only got about 1 megahertz, a little over 1 megahertz. So it's that's the next problem, to find out why the chip, it is switching like it's supposed to, but somewhere on there the multiplier on the chip is wrong. Either that or the crystal's off. But everything down to that point checked out. So more than likely this had a chip modification done. So more than likely it's somewhere on where the modification was done on the chip. I'll be back when I get her figured out. Okay. If you notice down in on the traces from the channel selector, we had to patch that one, where they cut the tracers. Now look at pin 9. I didn't notice it before, but there's a slice in the trace. So, well, that would account for our us being off frequency and not having the proper steps. So we'll go ahead and patch that, put a jumper in on that tracer right there, and then we'll go back to the prior step and work our way the rest of the way through. We'll adjust the VCO again, then check our input to pin 2 of the PLL, see if we're at the proper steps, and then move on to the adjustment, onto the adjustments and checking the 37.66 megahertz.
Okay, down in here there's a wire running from here to here that shouldn't be, and they cut it here for the channel mod, so we're off by 22 channels. So what we'll do is we'll remove this wire. This is on the channel selector, or not a channel selector, but here's the PLL chip right here. They put a jumper here. I'm not quite sure why, but I'll have to check that tracer to make sure that that's connected, because that shouldn't be 5 volts there. Okay, so we'll fix this. We'll disconnect this wire and run this tracer here and see if that brings us back on the frequency. Okay, I see why they had that wire run now. They were running a wire from the 5-volt supply here to this one up here, because they isolated that pin completely. But they also cut the tracer from this one to this one. So we need to reattach these 2 points and these 2 points here, and reattach this point to this point. That should bring the channel selection back to where it belongs. Now that we got the VCO fixed, we're undoing the channel modifications that were done. Okay, we've got our connections back again, from here to the pin to the 5-volt source here, which is right here, and we've got our connection back across here again. I know it's not pretty, but excuse me, but it's the best I'm going to be able to get that. Excuse me. Sorry for the coughing. The isopropyl alcohol, or the IPA, they used to clean the air. Kind of got me. Okay, well, let's put her back together here and see if we've got proper channel selection now. Okay, now we got our 2.55 megahertz on pin 2 of the PLL. So that means we got all the undid all the channel modifications, and the chip is locked into where it's supposed to be now. So we'll move on to the next step until we run into another problem. Okay, we made it all the way through the PLL circuit. Everything's looking good. Now it's on to the receiver alignment. I can't do the receiver alignment yet because we don't have AM receive. We have sideband without a problem. We're getting some decent reception on sideband, but we're not getting it on AM. So that's on to the next one here, is see if we can get AM receive back. Okay, for some reason they cut the tracer off of the 455 coil. I don't understand why. And then of course without AM, it wouldn't let AM work. AM is completely dead. Well, it can't hardly work if the tracer is split off the 455. Okay, we'll get her soldered up and see what happens. Well, we got the tracer set up on or soldered up on the 455, and sure enough, as soon as I did that, put her back together, we got AM receive. And pretty good too. There's sideband, upper, lower, AM. A lot of static tonight, but not much going on because it's about 5 o'clock in the morning. So alright, we'll move on to the next section. Okay, We're trying to adjust the AMC, which is RB9. And here, look at the scope. This is, you see how it's flat topping and it's not dipping well. That's with the mic gain. That's with the speech compressor off and the mic gain at about 7.5. I went in here. We'll take RB9 and it's not doing anything. Well, I would say they probably clipped it. So let's dig into the RB9 adjustment circuit and see if we can get that working right. Okay, according to the schematic here, RB9 right here goes over here to your audio line, comes out of your chip here, through this capacitor, through this transformer, down through this diode, and then off to the finals. And for your AM audio. It picks off this line right here, because your AM power is right here. But it picks off your audio here, and goes through this capacitor, through the variable RB9, through this voltage divider here, to this diode. This brings 13.7 down to 3.3. And then at this diode here, the audio passes through here, goes over into this circuit, and then comes down over to here, over to the ALC. And the ALC here goes back up and reduces the amount of audio on this transistor and amplifier, which of course sends it into the audio chip, leads it off to ground. We'll go through, we'll check these resistors, make sure we got our voltage, which I already did. But check these two diodes, check this AM modulation section. If for transmit, that's where we're having a little too much audio. And then we'll go on through here to the ALC, see what we can find. Okay, remember me saying they probably clipped it? You look right down in here, Q20. They literally clipped it. Clipped the transistor right out. That's the ALC. So now we'll go in, see if we can, we'll find a new one and change it up. I'll put a new one in there. Okay, now that we've replaced Q20, let's see here. We can adjust the RB9 and adjust it for 100% modulation. Let's get that peak down there where they just come close together down there, and without over modulating. Okay, right there. Okay, that gives us 100% modulation on AM, and it's adjustable now. Alright, got that part. Let's see if we can't find something else wrong. Let's move on. Okay, now that we got the audio limiter straightened out, this will be the end of part 2. And please like and subscribe, would be appreciated. The gentleman that owns the radio has been viewing me progress on the radio, so it's moving right along. It shouldn't be long before I button things up. I've got a few capacitors to change. That'll be in the next one, and we'll see if we can't get her ready to go home. So you all have a good one. We'll catch you in the next episode.